My name is Terri Messenger, and I am a...
Hey, and welcome to Terri Messenger's Genius Zone. And, this is the place and the space where you are going to get your own free masterclass absolutely free.
Hello and welcome to Edge Radio Australia. I'm Martine Shepherd. I'm filling in for the amazing Mr. Aaron Malloy, who's away for a couple of days. Got more hair, or his 80s hair back. And I'm here with the beautiful Terri Messenger. Hello, Terri.
Hello. Well, I was going to say, Aaron, you look pretty today.
Well,
you look gorgeous.
I know I do, but you know.
So there you go.
As he would say, I know I do.
Well, we're doing a Clayton's studio here today at Edge Radio. So we're not quite all professionally geared up with our, our mics
usual.
and everything and our usual thing. So we have to kind of shout. But if everybody can let us know if you can hear us and if you can see us okay. And today's subject, do you know what it's all about, Martine?
I don't know if it's anything to do with stress. That might be helpful for me today, I can tell you.
I think the whole world needs it. Well, we were at a festival of healing on the weekend. Man, there, are people out there that need this. They really, really need it.
People suffering right now.
And, there's a lot of suffering going on out in the world. And this is actually probably one of the most profound techniques that I use in NLP.
Beautiful.
Because it is one that actually can literally get to the root cause of trauma. It can get to the root cause of stress. It can get to the root cause of anything, Martine.
That's what you need.
And it can totally just blow it out of the water. So it is powerful. I've been using timeline therapy. That's what it is. Now, they say that it was created by Tad James.
Okay.
But the fact is that it comes and it derives from neuro-linguistic programming.
Mm-hmm.
And, whether it is, I will give some glory to the late Tad James, who was extremely very clued up on NLP.
I'm going to have to look that up later.
And yes, but timeline therapy, we all have a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you get stressed out, when you feel like you're running out of time, do you ever get that?
A little bit today, a little bit.
It's like, oh boy, have you ever felt like that? And look, when I'm talking to most people anyway, it usually always comes down to not enough time, not enough money.
Mm-hmm.
So time and money are the two biggest factors.
Absolutely.
And, what happens, of course, is that the more stressed that we are, the less time seems to shrink.
Yeah.
And when we're in our genius zone, hence the name of the show, what happens is time expands. Because, and one of the things that I start off with when I'm teaching people about timelining is, are you an on-time person or a through-time person? Yeah. Now let me just talk about this a little bit, whether you're on time or through time, and maybe you'll get to know the way you tick and the way others tick as well.
Do you find this is one, because we did this on the weekends, this sort of, what would you call it?
Timeline.
Yeah, but it was an experience. You have to go through it.
Yeah.
And so what I found is there was different subjects that I found that were like through me, in front of me, to different sides. And so that was really insightful, because I could see that in some things it was really flowing, and other things it was like a little bit out or sideways. So
that's really interesting. You should say that.
So it wasn't just one thing in just general. It was different subjects.
Yeah. Do you know what that tells me about you? That you have quite a lot of control over time and you don't even realize it.
I do.
So when you say you flip, what you're doing is you're flipping in and out of time.
Correct.
And so, for example, what if you flip at the wrong time zone? That's the thing. And I'm not saying that's what you do.
No.
But it's what a lot of us do, depending on where we are in our brain. Because when we are stressed, we're not through time. Okay, we've suddenly jumped out. Now we're either, if we're anxious, we tend to jump into the past, and we're actually, can I just reinstate that? If we're anxious, we jump into the future. So we are thinking about what's going to happen, and oh my gosh, and we're not living in the now through time. We're living outside of time, which is on time.
Yes.
And then if we are actually sinking low into an emotion like sadness, depression, anger even, we're usually reminiscing about something that's happened. So we're angry over something that someone said, which is usually in the past, even if it was 5 minutes ago or yesterday, or we're reminiscing about something that's sad that's happened to us. So that is also when we're outside of time.
So is that, though, because I find that it's good to recognize the feeling and emotion, but don't stay stuck in it, because that's where, you stay in that timeline back here and you're carrying that through like a big muddy footprint through each new day. That's how I look at it. It's like, so you need wash the day off.
You need to put your feet in the bath.
Yeah, scrub that off.
Yeah, scrub that stuff off,
Get the salt out, man.
You're allowed to roll around in the mud, okay? In fact, what you just said is perfect. I was actually saying this to my mother last night, that when I was doing a lot of the training, some of the people became more fanatic than I did.
Wow.
And I would have my students saying, no, Terri, you're not allowed to say that, or you're not allowed to feel like that because that's negative. And it's like, well, you know what?
It's not negative.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's life.
It's the reality that's presenting in the experience that we're having here, this physicality. Yeah. Even though we are a spiritual being experiencing the and the whole interdynamics of those levels of consciousness in this vessel and how it affects the body is part of the experience. You can't, that's why I said spiritual bypass, and you can't do it.
No.
This is why this stuff is really powerful.
You've got to feel to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to feel to heal.
Yeah.
So, it's understanding about this. It's more about the power of being able to take control of your own life.
Yeah.
So, for example, if we are feeling, this emotion, if it's anxiety, when we recognize that, hang on a minute, if I'm anxious, what does that anxiety feel like? Okay, I'm nervous, or, there's a fear of failure, or there's too much going on and it feels overwhelming. You've got to be able to unpack that, but by actually understanding that, hang on a minute, I'm not living in the now.
I see you and I work quite similarly in the way that we like to get to the root cause of the issue for true healing to occur.
Yes.
And so we use different techniques, because most people don't know that. Yeah, absolutely. So they are complementary, very much so. And the thing is that our feelings are the guidance tool, or the arrow that's pointing in the direction of where there's imbalance, which is what you're talking about. And so that's where you're saying with anxiety, you're stressing about the future, and depression is the past. So that's saying that your arrow's either pointing too far forward, too far back, instead of being in the arrow right.
I love it.
Is that right?
Oh my gosh.
Yay! Top of the class today.
It's keeping me on track, because actually with the time and the timeline, and you're talking arrows, right? So if you think of it like the hands on a clock.
Exactly.
So you've got one hand, let's say, what is it? 6 o'clock? Yeah. So one hand's going out that way, one's going behind us. So that is where we can control it. So if we're feeling something and we're going, okay, we're allowed to feel it, What am I feeling? Okay, I'm anxious about something I'm going to be doing soon. And what's the worst thing? Now, a little trick. Would you like to know a little trick?
I love all these little tricks.
Little tricks?
Yay!
Little tricks? Okay.
Bring it on.
So let's just say you've got something pending.
Yes.
And you're anxious about it. So what you do, this is a manifestation trick, plus it helps with that anxiety. So you jump time. So what you do is you quantum leap. Now, if you come into one of our workshops, because we're going to do a workshop together. And that's going to be really exciting because we're going to have the spiritual and all of the insightful stuff that this beautiful lady does. And we're going to kind of blend it together with this NLP stuff. And it's going to be
workshop.
Freaking amazing. So stay tuned for that. Or drop it in the comments if you want to know more about it. We'll send you out the invitation. So the way we quantum leap is we go past that again.
Yes.
So let's just say, have you got, I'm not going to ask you what it is, but have you got something, unless you want to promote it, of course, have you got something coming up in the future that you feel a bit of angst about or you're a bit unsure? Like, you know how you had your daughter's wedding?
Oh, yeah, that was definitely last week. That explains exactly what it was. It was the anxiety was probably not just through the roof, but it was like a rocket just
well, that's what we want. Only that's happened now. So we need to let that one. So we're looking at something in the future. So let's just say you're having a party. Symposium. This lady is doing a symposium. There's going to be one in Perth and there's going to be one in Victoria. So if you want to know about that, drop it in the comments. She'll get back to you. Now, okay, so there's, of course, we're going to get a little bit of anxiety about that. How many people are going to come? You've got a lot of big wig people that you're connecting with. You're doing a lot there.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to ask you a couple of questions. And that is that, firstly, how do you want to feel? Like, what would be the emotional feeling that you would feel knowing that it was an absolute blast? It was an absolute hit.
A success.
A
success story? Okay.
Yeah. So how would that feel? What would success feel like? Tell me about success. What would that feel like in your body?
For me personally, not what other people might see as success. For me, it is about having people that are there, that their hearts and souls are really aligned to what the subject matter is. That there does need to be aligned.
So aligned, okay.
And I do think that there needs to be a certain volume of people to show that it has been fairly effective in reaching our target audience to invite them.
And how will that feel?
Attendees.
So then you've got you've got great numbers. You're really impressed with that. How does that feel?
That would make me feel to a point where I have been given the opportunity now. It's like a sense of empowerment too, probably.
Ooh, I love it. So aligned empowerment, but two's not good enough. We need one more. So when you think about this being a blast, you've got the numbers in the room, everyone's aligned, you know, you feel empowered.
Outcome too.
Yeah, what does that feel like?
So for me, it would be that the outcome would be those that come to this symposium, first in the world, yay, go us, and Australia, would be that people are going away more empowered themselves because they are armed with a lot more information, the truth, the facts, the science. And for me, that is like gifting them the opportunity to then go and educate other people about it. Yeah. So that's it.
Is that a fulfilled, peaceful, joyful?
Very.
You tell me, which one would you choose? Just choose one. Peaceful, joyful, fulfilled.
Fulfilled.
Okay, so we have got fulfilled, empowered alignment.
Yeah.
So that's your recipe.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is, now that we know that that's what it's going to be, we're going to quantum jump. So what you'll do, we won't do it in the show because it'll take too long. But what I would say, we jump from here and we go directly onto the other side. So it's the next day. So you're waking up in the morning, and I know you'll be able to do this. But you know, you wake up and you feel that, oh my gosh, that alignment, that empowerment, and that incredible, was it fulfilled? What was it was empowered, aligned
and fulfilled.
feeling. And
Yeah.
you wake up and you just imagine that you're in that, and we just switch that on. Now, this is what we'll be doing in the workshop, right? So you'll get to experience this. I'll actually drop you down inside it. And then what happens is we bring you back. So what that does is it actually gives a message to your subconscious that you've already done it.
Yes.
So the subconscious, because the subconscious is what's running our emotions, right?
Yes.
So it switches it off. It goes, it's already done. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
So not only do you feel more composed, I mean, would that come in handy?
Yeah, and that, I've got to be honest, that is a technique that I have to use, especially last week I used it.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to bypass it by using music through this visualization, because there was so many other stimulus that was happening that I put on some meditation tracks, just music, and sort of helped that bypass through that emotional connection, like through that music, going, okay, this makes me feel elevated, it makes me feel this. And those were kind of the words that I was kind of thinking of. It's like, you know, the success of this is, you know, governed by the authenticity. So when I started doing that, then I breathed back into it and just went, this will be as it's meant to be, because I know that the people involved are so authentic, that are coming to this with the right heart, soul, and they are willing to learn. So I just kind of went, okay.
And there you go. I mean, and it's amazing what happens when you do that. So that's a big elimination of stress. So if people are looking at anything, it could be small. It could be, oh, you're going to meet up with your mother-in-law. I'm just saying, right?
Would that be stressful for people?
No, but, you know, I mean, it could be that you have to face something, or there's,
interviews, all kinds of things.
Yeah, an operation. It could be anything, right? Or a person that you don't want to see that suddenly you've got to meet up with.
Deal with them face to face.
Yeah. And you jump time. You jump time, and we'll teach you all about how to do that, and really switch on the codes as well, because it's about a coded system. So it's like the geometric coding system of your subconscious mind, almost aligned with the God conscious, the super conscious. And as far as, you know, letting go of like trauma, I mean, trauma is a big one.
It's huge to work through.
What we do is we will take you back in the workshop between Martine and myself. You'll be given this amazing and incredible experience to be able to spiritually align with your goals, and, you know, some of the problems that you may not realize you have. And Martine will be able to take you through that and identify them. And then we will literally take you back to that where the subconscious mind knows the first trauma was. So it's almost like a root, you know, like a root of a weed or a tree. You can't just pull it off at the top, because it's going to grow again, right? So what you do is you go right down into the ground underneath, and you pull that baby up. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It makes sense.
Now, do you want to read out these questions, Martine?
Because
we had some people come in from the community, but we're doing things a little different. So just
rolling with it today.
Yeah.
So we have Fiona. Hello, Fiona. Thank you for your question. Fiona from Sydney. I have big issues with procrastination. I know it's caused by being overwhelmed. Do you have any quick NLP tips to help me take control and focus? That's a good one. Focus, because once you refocus, that changes everything, right? Okay, I'm going to hold on to this.
Yeah. So if it goes off, we just go like that.
Yeah.
Look, procrastination is a behavior. So it's the behavior that comes after the energetic emotion.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people might, you know, drink a lot of alcohol or turn to drugs, or they might be sabotaging themselves by doing things that they know, overeating, or, you know, doing things against themselves. That's kind of like a behavior.
Yeah.
And we all do it. There's nobody that is free of this.
No.
So in case you're judging yourself, guys, don't judge yourself.
We all do it.
Because, you know,
Oh, good.
to the subconscious mind, a habit is a habit.
Yeah.
And whether it's a really, like you might think of it as the, you know, ultimate sin, to something small that seems harmless, it's all the same. So the procrastination, believe it or not, Fiona, is a way to protect you. Okay?
Self-preservation.
So your subconscious mind.
Let's juice to that one.
Let's drink our gin and tonic. It's not. It's water. She's not on the heart. I can't get her to do the happy hour with me. I miss you, Aaron.
Look, if I had had some more food consumption today, I'd probably be like, line them up, but
she's keeping me on the straight and narrow.
I'm going to drive.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk about that because alcohol has been something that, I mean, I don't like to think that anything's got control over me, because that's really what an addiction is about, including procrastination. So procrastination is an addiction. You've learned to do that really well. And I would say, wow, you're really stylistic at it. Now, you know, it might be harmless to have a glass of wine every day, but when it starts to be every day,
you can't get through that bad one.
And then you find yourself looking for it.
Yeah.
And I have to admit that I kind of liked that whole thing about 5 o'clock. You know, where's that little glass of wine? It's my baby, but I almost treated it like a reward system.
A treat.
So, you know, I made a little deal with myself that I wouldn't drink alone.
Boy.
So basically, you know, even though on Saturday we came home because we're housemates now, and we came home from the Festival of Healing, and I thought, yes, let's have a celebration drink. Nah, she didn't want to. I still did, but it was Saturday, so listen to me making up all the excuses. It was Saturday. I was with Martine. She was having. I wasn't alone. Technically, I wasn't alone.
Yep.
Right? She was having her little bevy, which was the
cup of tea.
A cup of tea. So
they needed the tea.
Okay. But, you know, let's talk about procrastination. So for me, just to give you an idea, Fiona, so I'm kind of using that glass of wine as a way to reward myself. Like it's kind of like moving into the fun and variety, because we all want to experience love and connection, a sense of importance, a sense of certainty to a certain degree, and the opposite of certainty, which is a little bit of fun and variety. So we look for it. So that wine is like my sense of fun and variety. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing. Sometimes we will actually do something that is for a good reason. And this is what I want you to really hear, Fiona. Because the procrastination, you may know at a logical level that it's a negative, but that's not what your subconscious knows. Because your subconscious doesn't care about right or wrong. It just wants to protect you.
I also feel that if you, like for me, when you've talked about that, and I have people say the same, it's like, I just can't get motivated. It's like, okay, that's procrastination. How much of your day do you procrastinate? It's the proportion as well. So there's times where I find myself, and I very rarely procrastinate, trust me. I'll go straight into it.
Yeah, she's like a bull in a china shop, this girl.
I'm a warrior, so I'll just go like, no, that's good. Let's move along. Let's go. But when I do procrastinate, that's self-regulating. And I've realized that about myself. It's about self-regulation because my system is overwhelmed and I will procrastinate and I'll put things off for a certain time until my system feels like it's back in better equilibrium.
Nice.
That's the word I try and use.
See, you know that.
Yeah.
And
I use it as a tool.
You use it as a tool.
Use it as a tool.
Yes. So change it around. Change it around. I mean, obviously, you've got that kind of emotional IQ of understanding that, right? And we come to know that by learning it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've learnt that along the way. And it's fair to say that a person wouldn't necessarily understand that procrastination comes with a high intention as well.
Yeah.
So when you understand it like Martine, then you can control it.
Mm.
So this is the question you need to ask yourself. For what am I protecting myself? Because your subconscious mind, so for example, I had a person the other day that I was doing a coaching session with, and it was about failure, and they were concerned. They didn't want to move forward because they were protecting themselves from failing.
Yeah.
That's a really good reason, right?
Yeah. That was kind of mine last week though. Failure is, it's like, what if I fail? It's like, what if this is a failure, this symposium? I'm like, how can it be a failure when I've actually done it? So the thing is, it was like changing mindset, going, well, when you do something, regardless of what the actual outcome was, I had to set new boundaries of what I felt like the outcome should be, and go, was that unrealistic? I'd set them too high. What is too low? So again, it's like being flexible enough to not put so much pressure on yourself.
Exactly. And that, I think that's a key word. Take the pressure off. Be kind to yourself, and also understand that failure, because failure is such a big one. Napoleon Hill said it like this: there's no such thing as failure, it's feedback. You've got to fail forward. So if you're doing something for the first time, what is failure anyway? It's just your definition. And even if it did fail, what you've got to say is, well, now I have figured out. Imagine Albert Einstein, the guy that did the light globe. Imagine if he gave up.
Yes.
How many times? 9,999 times. He figured out how not to make it work.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying that it's going to take you 9,999 times, and it won't. But let's just look at it as this is your higher purpose and higher, potential of actually protecting you. Find out what it is, and then see if you can replace it and say, you know what, I'm going to fail forward.
Do you find also that if you, like for me, I set timelines of how long I'll let myself procrastinate? So my daughter does that now too.
Wow.
So they'll set it, I'll give myself 25 minutes or half an hour or an hour to procrastinate. And once the alarm goes off, so it's like,
set the alarm.
And for me, I'll actually have a different timeline. So I'll ask for a particular feeling timeline because I meditate, so I get that. But my daughter uses alarms, and she has said that has helped her so much in setting some good boundaries with herself.
Can I just say
change the language?
That is gold. That in fact, it's so gold. This is what I'm going to say.
We're hitting the genius zone here.
Yeah, we are hitting, and this is your genius zone, everyone. Whatever your emotion is, set a timer to it and say, you know what, I'm going to give myself until such and such a time. You can do it with illness as well if you've got the flu.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give myself till 5 o'clock this afternoon. Boom. Well, that's already gone. So out of here. So are we going to have another question? Have we got time?
We do.
Okay.
So we've got Brett from Florida. Hello over there. Beautiful USA. I'm obsessed with time. Oh, gosh. I used to be able to relate to this. I have no longer wear a watch. It freaks me out when my girlfriend runs late, even though we arrive on time. Why does this stress me so much? Oh, Brett, I can so relate. That's what I used to be like.
You sound like someone very, very close to me, but I'm not going to mention my son in case I get into trouble.
Not my name, anyway.
Oh my word! Have you been? Look, this is a very common. This is actually a very common issue. So I'm going to see if I can relate to what you just said and get this right. So time stresses you out. So if you are very similar to this person that I know, that means that you tend to be fretting if you think you're running late, but then somebody else that seems a lot more calmer and relaxed and chilled out freaks you out. But then you find out that you usually end up being on time anyway.
Okay, this is the total dynamics of me and my daughter.
Oh my God.
I'm always like, it's fine. Don't stress. We'll get there when we get there, and that's the divine timing. That's the right time.
Okay.
It's all good. It's like we're not like 2 hours late. It's 5 minutes late is still on time.
Exactly. So, hey, guys, if you can relate to this, drop it down. And I'm going to tell you, Brett, probably the way you operate and the way your partner operates. So this comes back to the on time, in time, and through time personality.
Yes.
So, this is the weird part about it. You probably think, and if you're anything like this other person I know, you probably even have arguments about who actually is better with time than the other. And yet,
juicy relationship issue.
Yeah. And yet, I'm going to tell you something that's very, very ironic. And that is that the chances are that your partner is better with time than you are. It's just that time freaks you out. So you are what we call a on-time person. That means on time means that you've got to get this done, this done, this done, this done, this done, and this time. So time is running past. Okay, that's
afraid of losing time.
Yeah. So you're literally
running at it.
I actually use a metaphor like a train.
Yeah.
And the train's running this way, and you're trying to jump in the carriage, and that's sort of like an anxiety kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, your partner is through time. So the interesting part is that I actually, to train in timeline therapy, I actually used my son and my stepson as an example. And it actually epitomized myself and my husband because, so
there's a reflection.
These are, like myself,
Mirror.
my son, and Ian and his son. So, the fact is that I don't know whether you can relate to this, Brett, but your partner is already sitting on the train. So the fact is that she is running through time. Time is inside of her. So she's not freaked out about it. And whilst you're probably having arguments, if you're anything like these people that I know, where they're going, oh, he's hopeless with time or she's hopeless with time, but they've got it wrong. It's actually the other way around. Unless the person is just
behind time as well.
3 hours like that's
always
just tardy.
I know there's some people that do that.
I mean, that's just
in their own little bubble.
But
too.
When we're talking in terms of, if it's within the time, courteous
10 minutes either way.
10 minutes. They reckon 5 minutes and you're on time.
10 minutes with this rubbish traffic in Perth. Traffic sucks.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sorry,
it's
got to be fed.
So would you like a little tip here? This is how you can manage it. So, you're already doing it. I don't know whether you realize this or not,
I do.
but you know how you talked about you're flipping time around. So sometimes you are time is running through you.
Depends what the subject is.
So you're probably through time right now. So we're probably sitting here through time.
Absolutely. Feeling very present.
Yeah,
I do feel very present.
Okay, so you're present here now. However, before we started, say 15 to 20 minutes.
I was in 15 timelines.
She was on time, out of time. She was all over time.
So what I look at is not just time, but I look in dimensionality.
Yeah.
So there's things I'm having to deal with that are coming in the future that I have to do things to line up. Then there's things right now. Then there's things that I probably dealt with, should have done 2 days ago. Beyond my control. I'm like, what do I need to do to bring that up and realign it? So that's how I'm looking, like a 360.
Yes.
And remembering to breathe in all of that.
Yes, because yes, and
It's the
also
breath.
the thing is that you'll find that if you do hear something like when I was talking about timelining on the weekend, you'll pick it up so fast because of the work you already do. So if you think of it like this, Brett, if you think of it like, okay, where do I need to be right now? Because I find that some people, if they are particularly on time people, so they're outside of time is not in them, it's very hard to get them present. They can seem very serious, they can seem always focused on
in their head,
they're in their head
racing.
So what you do, I used to do this as a little trick. If you're some people's timeline's running left to right, some people's is behind and in the future, some people is even above them, and where they're full of the pressure is on, but the way you perceive time is the way you feel. So if you kind of start to think of it as a hands of a clock, and you get the timeline and you pull it inside you and just go, okay, I'm here through time. I'm through time. I'm moving through time right now. And then you can even shift the hands of the clock and see which one feels better. Like, does it feel better if it's, your past is out there on your left and it's, your future's on the right? Or is it better the other way, where your past is behind you and your future is in front of you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it a crack. And that is actually the reason you're the on-time person, your partner is the through-time person.
Yeah.
Have we got time for one more question?
We do. We actually do.
Look at us. We're
so
going.
productive.
Woohoo.
Look, keeping on task and all. Wow. So we have the beautiful Genevieve. Thank you, Genevieve, from Perth. I'm not sure if this relates to time. I'm sure it probably does. But I keep attracting the same kind of unhealthy relationships. Can timeline therapy really help with that? Oh, that's a juicy one.
That is a very big one. Genevieve, you're in Perth. You're a Perthian. Get down to our workshop and let me enlighten you so we can talk, through that. I think that were just the 3 questions from the community today. So, all right. Now, firstly, the answer is 150,000%.
Yeah.
You can do something about that because, quite often you're treating your now partner as the one that you had 2 decades ago. And not all the time, don't generalize. I don't want to generalize here, but quite often we get triggered. So we get triggered, they do something, they say something, or something happens and it sets us off. But the reason that happens is because of the experience we had in our past. And quite often it's not even from our first boyfriend, girlfriend. Quite often it can be from a significant other in our family.
Parent role modeling.
A parent role model.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it really.
Delving into that.
Yeah, so it comes back from, and it's obviously around, like, when I was talking to somebody else, when I was discussing, like, how do you actually feel, the word lonely and abandoned came up. And that's really a big one. I find loneliness and abandonment are probably one of the most serious feelings that are really, if you are feeling them, you've got to get rid of it, right?
Yeah,
totally. The other one that's a really popular one, and I was famous for this one, I was really good at it, and that's shame and guilt.
Oh, wow.
And the shame and the guilt, actually, I found
where did
out
that come from?
That came from my grandmother, can you believe? And I actually I worked it out through. When I was doing a master's training, I went through a timeline session, and I found, speaking of trains, goodness me, I ended up on a train in my timeline, and I realized I was my grandmother when she was 15 years old, who was actually carrying a lot of shame.
Oh, so you're talking about we're talking about ancestral DNA,
ancestral
lineage,
So so it can go back before, because
before you were
they
here.
even say our grandmother's egg is planted in.
We are inside our
yeah,
grandmother's.
we
ovum.
are the
Egg.
as a result of the grandmother's egg.
Crazy.
So you can understand that DNA comes from that, so it travels down through. So in terms of your relationships, so it could have happened way back. I'm sorry to say this, but it could have happened 7 generations ago, where there was that element of being, perhaps under captivity or, in that kind of, held in that captive entrapment, that kind of relationship, whatever that felt like. So it's up to our subconscious to carry that forward, almost like a baton, a legacy.
It is, isn't
so we've got to break that.
Yeah.
We've got to break that baby.
Yeah.
So when you are meeting with these people, one of the things we're going to get you to do is we're going to get you to meet with all of them, especially the significant ones, and say thank you. Because, you've brought to me something powerful, and you are part of my history.
Yeah.
You are part of my history, and you do not have to be a victim of your history. You can be a master of your destiny.
I look at it as a tool of evolution. So it's the lesson that I'm going to evolve from, because this is where I say, this is what the issue was. This is where I felt disrespected, or I didn't have clear boundaries, or I didn't have strong enough boundaries. And it's like, okay, so because of that were the consequences. Then it made me feel degraded or not appreciated. And then I was like, well, the only way I'm going to feel appreciated is to do the remedy of that and look at that and go, great lesson, thanks very much. I'm not dwelling on it though.
Exactly.
No point.
Exactly. So these people, so the relationships that you've had in your lifetime, what we would do in the workshop, so put your name down because you're in Perth, Genevieve, we'll let you know, is that we would be looking at 3 structures because it is a structure.
Absolutely.
A structure of time. It will be the most recent, hardest relationship. Okay. Oh, she's taken a deep breath here. Oh, I'm not going to anchor that. So
no.
I touched it before, but that was a good one. So I've got to go on the other side. Okay. So, and now
going to be bubble.
Okay, it's getting hot around here. Okay, she's going to need a drink after this. That was my tactic. No. So, all right. So you're going to need the recent one. You're going to need anyone that was really bad throughout your life that comes up, and you're going to need one from the earliest childhood, which you may or you may not know. So they're like, it operates like walls, if you like, weight-bearing walls.
Yeah.
So, in the house we're living in, right, we've got an upstairs. Like if you take out the wrong walls, you got to be careful because, we might get elephants falling through the roof. I'm just joking. But the ceiling might fall in.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
We've got mice and elephants in our house, by the way. So anyway, that was a private joke. She's laughing. So when you take out the weight-bearing walls and the roof collapses, that's actually a good thing because it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
So so that means then, however, this is the part they didn't teach us, and this is the stuff that I have done since learning all of this stuff, and that is that, and you would understand all about this. We've got to then input the new recipe because we don't want to leave it open.
No.
Because if we leave it open, then the next person that comes
going to come in like, oh, I fit just in this, don't I? This hole? Yeah, no.
That's when you can become specific about who you want in your life.
Absolutely. Wow, I'm loving this. And I think that learning these tips about neurolinguistics, what you're saying about our language, our words, how powerful they are, that timeline, like I said, people, it's great to be able to visualize. So if you're not a great visualizer, actually learning some techniques in that, because I know a lot of people that are really hard to do that.
Yes, you're right.
But I find that if you grab a pillow and say, okay, this is the issue, there's that there, where is that to the relative of the feeling? So there is that kind of way to help people learn those techniques.
That's perfect. And that's why when you come into our workshop, you're not just going to hear about this stuff,
No.
you're going to
Learn it.
experience it. So if you're not in Perth and you're going, oh my gosh, I want to be there, just let us know and we can definitely give you a link and you can attend virtually, because we do that as well. So just
Absolutely.
like how we are now, you'll be involved. And yeah, let us know. But yeah, I think that just about wraps up our show.
It is. So again, let's go back. I want to just to reiterate to people, stress is one thing. Anxiety is about the future.
Yes.
Depression and sadness is about the past. So it's about kind of a grief process too, right?
Yeah,
Letting go of that, and you don't know how to complete that cycle.
Yeah,
I find that sometimes people are almost there, and it's like you keep holding on to that one thing. Let that one thing go. Boom. Okay, just procrastination. Procrastination is a tool that we use to self-regulate and protect ourselves. And so in that, you can use it as a tool that's positive, or you can allow it to be out of control and negative. So where is your balance for your life to be successful? And that's why coming to learn all of these techniques, I think, from beautiful Terri here, and then how we put that together as a workshop. I'm intrigued by that. I can't wait. Can't wait indeed.
So exciting.
It is.
So exciting.
Wow. Well, this is us wrapping up. Thanks, Mr. Malloy, for tuning in from probably where you are or not. Everyone else, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for joining the Genius Zone on Edge Radio
Australia. Bye.
Ciao.
Show where we have explored through this various topic, along with all the exciting new topics that we bring every week to enhance your personal mastery of excellence. Now, I'd love you to do me a favor. In fact, be part of the Legacy 1 million that I have in the vision for 2028. If you know someone who really would benefit from this recording, from this episode, please share it with them. And when you subscribe, you get notified every week of our episode as soon as it drops. So let's do that legacy thing. Let's share, let's care, let's enrich. And I look forward to bringing you another week of the most enriching content. So until next time, stay inspired, stay awesome, and keep on mastering your excellence.